Okay, for question number 4, first you would find, I would do the triangle, which is right here. And we know, I forgot to put 28 here. So for your triangle, remember it's 1/2 base times height, or base times height divided by 2. So your height is how tall it is, and your base is the bottom of it. So basically it's just those two numbers, your 11 and your 28. And then divide that by 2. So when you do that, you get 154 square feet. Then this other shape, I can't think of what that's called. But the formula is 1/2 height base 1 plus base 2. I think that's it. Let me look that up real quick. I'm guessing it's a trapezoid. So first let's start with our bases. Our two sides that are flat, that are straight, that are across from each other. So your bases here are the 15 and the 28. And then the height is going to be how tall it is. So that leaves you with 23 and 26.4. Well, how tall it is has to go straight up and down. It can't be slanted. That's why we use the 23. So that's the hardest part. It's figuring out what your bases are and what your height is in the problem. But it will never be, your bases won't be slanted. So don't ever use anything slanted for that. And your height should be straight up and down. So if you do 1/2 of, let's see, yeah, and instead of doing 1/2, you can just divide by 2 after you get your answer. So 28 plus 15 is 43 times, let me get my calculator just to make sure that's right. 43 times 23 would be 989. Divide that by 2 and you end up with 494.5 for your area of your trapezoid or whatever that thing is. So you take both of your areas and you add those two numbers together, and 494.5 plus 154, your final answer for the area of the whole shape would be 648.5 square feet. That is your final answer on that one. This one really, when I first looked at it, it looked terrible, but it's really just 2 half circles. So first of all, let's talk about the formula for the area of a circle. We know the area of a circle is pi r squared, so we're going to do area of 2 circles here, but they're only half circles. So when we find the area of half of a circle, we divide it by 2. Now, we know that we're going to use 3.14 for pi, but we have to figure out what our radius is. Remember, this is the whole length of the circle. The center of the circle is the diameter. So the diameter of the first circle is 15. The radius is going to be half of the diameter. So the radius of this circle is going to be 7.5. So that is what we plug in for R. Now the radius of this circle on the other side, we know the diameter is 22. The radius is going to be half of the diameter. So our radius of this circle is 11. So we're going to square 11 and divide it by 2. So all I've done is plugged in for pi and for r into my formula. And then I'm going to work both of these out. And if I do 3.14 times 7.5 squared, and then divide it by 2, I get 88.3. I'm going to round it. And this is square millimeters. And then if I do that for the second one, 3.14 times 11 squared, I'm going to divide that by 2, and I get 189.97, but we're rounding to the nearest tenths place. So that's going to round up to 190 square millimeters. So remember, once you get the area of both, you have to add those two numbers up. And so 88.3 plus 190 would be 278.3 square millimeters. And that is our final answer for that one. Okay, for this one, I would start with the rectangle because, oops, sorry. Let me go back. Because that's the easiest. So you have the length times the length times the width. So and I think that's 153 square meters. So we're done with that part. Now we need to find the area of the trapezoid up on the top, and we know the formula is area equals 1/2 height times the base 1 plus base 2, or height times base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2. So first of all, the bases, well, we know that if this is 17, then this is 17. They also gave you the other base. Remember, the top and the bottom, the ones that are not slanted are the bases. So 5 plus 17 divided by 2. But what's the height? We need to know how tall it is from here to here. Well, we know from here to here is 9. And we know 9 plus what would give you 21. Well, from here to here has to be 12. Because 9 plus 12 would be 21. So the height is 12. Where did my green go? Okay. Come on now. So when you do 5 plus 17 is 22 times 12 divided by 2. 22 times 12 divided by 2 is 132. Is that right? Yep. Okay. So I gotta add this, and I gotta add this, and this is ridiculous. So what do I get? Stupid crap. Let's see. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 1 plus 1 is 2. So I get 285 meters squared for that one. That is my final answer. Okay, for this one, I would start with a circle. So we have half of a circle. So area equals pi r squared divided by 2. So remember, we know the diameter is 18 all the way across. So divide by 2 to get the radius. So the radius is 9. So we're going to do 3.14 times 9 squared divided by 2. And that is 127.17, but she's rounding to the tenths. So 127.2 square feet. So that's one shape that we have out of the way. The next shape I would probably do is the triangle, which is this part. Because we know the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2, or half of base times height. We know that, let me look at this shape on the paper because I didn't draw it just perfectly. Yeah, this is going to be 18 also. So we know the base is 18. We know the height, that little dotted line in the center of the circle is the height, is 7. So 126 divided by 2. So the area of the triangle is 63 square feet. Now, this middle thing is like I guess a parallelogram maybe. So it's just going to be base times height. So we know the base is 18. We know that this is 18. Let's see how we figure out the trying to figure out how we figure out the height. So the way I would explain it is, this is a circle and half of the circle's radius is 9. And then from here to here is 7, and that's 16. We know the whole length of this is 20. So 9 plus 7 would be 16. So what does this have to be? It has to be 4. So the height of that little parallelogram thingy right here, the height is 4. So the area of that thing is 72. So here you have 3 different shapes. It had a lot of stuff to think about. When you add those up, 135, 162.7, hold on, 63 plus 72 would be 135, 272. Hold on, let me add this up. So when I added those up, I got 262.2.